In this video, I will go a little bit deeper to opinion what kind of fat we have to consume and what kind of fat is healthy. And then there is, because there is a lot of misinformation about so-called cholesterol. People say bad and good cholesterol. Okay, let's go into details to understand what we have to do with our diet, what we have to consume. Okay. As always, I recommend you to download the presentation as PDF file from the link in the description, so you can go to the sources of information, make your own research, and if you don't understand any terms what I use, then you can click on them or use Google search and to understand it better. So I recommend you not to trust me, because I am not medical professional. I am scientist I have PhD in physics and mathematics. But at least I can think logically, and I do this research for my own benefits. I try to understand that's how our body works and how we can live 10, maybe 40 times longer than people live for now. And then also I invested a lot of my time into biology, to understand biology. It is quite an interesting area of science. So let's go, because I see that a lot of misinformation from the medical professionals and some influencers on internet. So, but I don't trust anything, and I recommend you to don't trust anybody. Make your own research, decide for yourself what to eat if you want to stay healthy. Let's go. Dietary fats, including triglycerides, cholesterol, and cholesterol esters, are broken down by digestive enzymes called lipases in the stomach and small intestine. This breakdown results in formation of fatty acids, cholesterol, and monoglycerides, which are then absorbed by enterocytes, so intestinal cells. Within enterocytes, fatty acids and monoglycerides are reassembled into triglycerides and cholesterol esters. These newly formed molecules are packaged into chylomicrons, also known as ultra-low density lipoproteins, which are surrounded by a membrane composed of free cholesterol, phospholipids, and apolipoproteins. Chylomicrons mainly consist of triglycerides and phospholipids, cholesterol, and proteins in a small amounts. Okay, you see, this is how the fat digestion is going. Fat with bile acids. Bile acids work as surfactant. They are broken into smaller pieces, and then enzymes can work on this fat and break them into this free fatty acids and monoglycerides, and then they go to the cells, to the gut wall, and reassembled. Okay, so what has happened? Due to the large size, these chylomicrons cannot enter the bloodstream directly, so they are released into a lymphatic system, which is eventually drains into the bloodstream. Once in the bloodstream, the chylomicrons transport dietary triglycerides and cholesterol to various tissues, primary adipose tissue and muscles. So you see that chylomicrons, it's really big. They cannot go to the capillaries, to the blood capillaries. Instead, they go to the lymph vessels, and then transported further. Lipoprotein lipase is enzyme located on the surface of capillary endothelium cells. So it is again released also in not only in stomach but also in endothelium, in the blood vessels, in capillaries. It hydrolyzes the triglycerides in chylomicrons into free fatty acids and glycerol. The free fatty acids are taken up by cells through the body to be used for energy production in mitochondria or stored as fat in adipose tissue. Glycerol can be converted into glucose in the liver through gluconeogenesis. After the most triglycerides are removed, chylomicrons shrink and become chylomicron remnants, which are richer in cholesterol and protein. These remnants are taken up by liver through receptor-mediated endocytosis, where they are further processed. The liver then can use cholesterol and other components from the remnants of these chylomicrons to produce bile acids or to package them into very low density lipoproteins. So you see how these lipoproteins are very low density lipoproteins are produced by liver. So this is a very low density lipoprotein structure. You see that some proteins on the surface of the of this very low density lipoproteins, and you have triglycerides inside, and you have membrane consisting of phospholipids and also cholesterol. A lot of cholesterol is in the membrane to stabilize membrane, to make it actually more flexible and to also more stable stable to oxidation and also to deformation. Very low density lipoproteins are rich in triglycerides and also contain cholesterol, cholesterol esters, and apolipoproteins. Okay, you see here this is the structure. Very low density lipoproteins are released into the bloodstream to deliver triglycerides produced in the liver to various tissues. Triglycerides and very low density lipoproteins are hydrolyzed by this lipase and similar to triglycerides and chylomicrons, releasing fatty acids for cellular intake and production of energy or storage in the deposit tissue. As some triglycerides are removed, very low density lipoproteins shrink, also similar like the chylomicrons, shrink and become intermediate density lipoprotein, which has a high cholesterol content, and because some of triglycerides are removed, and these intermediate density lipoproteins can be taken up again by the liver and further processed into low density lipoproteins through the continued removal of triglycerides. Low density lipoprotein particles are rich in cholesterol and cholesterol esters and serve as primary carriers of cholesterol to cells throughout the body. You see that in this this slide we see how much is the cholesterol content. In chylomicrons, cholesterol content is very low, but it is relatively high in low density lipoproteins. Interesting that high density lipoproteins, despite it is these vessels are small in size, they have less this cholesterol. Why? Because cholesterol is used also by cells and to stabilize the membrane of cells, but it's also used by liver to produce bile acids. So it is again a very important part of the low density lipoprotein is this cholesterol, which is in the LDL particles. Cells take up low density lipoproteins through receptors. So there are special receptors so that these particles can get through the membrane, and they transporting low density lipoproteins to lysosomes, where cholesterol esters are hydrolyzed by enzymes in a low environment or acidic environment. The released cholesterol is used for cell membrane synthesis, hormone production, or storage. The cholesterol is very important substance again for our body. Excess low density lipoprotein in the bloodstream is taken up by liver, where cholesterol is converted into bile acids. These bile acids are secreted into small intestine to aid in digestion of fats, converted by and then further this bile acids can be converted by bacteria into secondary bile acids, and then eventually excreted with feces or reabsorbed in the colon. So you mind that again, these secondary bile acids can reabsorbed in the colon in case of long gut transit time and especially constipation. High-density lipoproteins play an important role in reverse cholesterol transport, moving excess cholesterol from peripheral tissues back to the liver for bile production. Okay, you see that it is again, it has a small amount of cholesterol and but more protein particles. Somehow, again, this misunderstanding of this natural process of fat digestion and distribution of fat in and cholesterol esters in our body that leads to that medical professional call this low density lipoproteins as bad cholesterol and high density lipoproteins as good cholesterol. Pardon, this is so wrong. Okay, so again here you see that it is the same vessel. Chylomicrons, they are getting smaller, shrinking, and then liver produces very low density lipoproteins, and then intermediate density lipoproteins and low density lipoproteins, eventually high density lipoproteins. So the size is small. And here again, here it is like in larger scale, as you see the same, but this microvessels. Okay, so in medical terminology, what I say, that low density lipoprotein and very low density lipoprotein are often referred to as bad cholesterol, while high density lipoprotein is known as good cholesterol, which is so confusing, so much confusing. Again, yet we have to remember that cholesterol is the principal sterol in body tissues, especially in the brain and spinal cord. It is crucial for maintaining cell membrane fluidity and stability, and it plays an important role in signal transduction. Cholesterol also serves as precursor for steroid hormones, including sex hormones, it is estrogen and testosterone, adrenal hormones, it is cortisol, aldosterone, and a group of fat-soluble secosteroids called vitamin D, which are essential for calcium absorption and bone health. Additionally, cholesterol is precursor for bile acids necessary for emulsification of fats, facilitating their breakdown by digestive enzymes and fat digestion in the small intestine. You see, cholesterol is so important for our health. So cholesterol molecules, you see how it gets converted chemically to progesterone, and then this sexual hormones are produced. It's not only sexual but also other hormones, and then this is the sexual hormones and other hormones like cortisol, aldosterone. So it is again a very important subject, or very important substance. About 50% of circulating cholesterol is carried in red blood cell membranes. Okay, in our, you see that again, why LDL, the people call bad cholesterol. It is actually more, cholesterol is carried more in red blood cells membrane. It is absolutely important that red blood cells have this cholesterol, because red blood cells remain flexible must remain flexible to pass through blood vessels smaller than own size. Consuming plant-based foods and using seed oils for cooking increase the content of so-called phytosterols. You go and maybe learn more about this. And also they have polyunsaturated fatty acids in the particles of LDL particles. If you consume these vegetable oils, eventually you have LDL particles which are rich in phytosterol, not cholesterol, but in phytosterol and polyunsaturated fatty acids. Phytosterols can replace cholesterol in cell membranes, also in red blood cells, making them stiffer and affecting their permeability to gas molecules. This replacement of cholesterol by phytosterol in red blood cells may compromise oxygen delivery to tissues through small capillaries, potentially leading to chronic hypoxia. Okay, again, it is, and remember that our brain needs so much, and it consuming a lot of oxygen, and also for functioning our brain we need both red blood cells with flexible membrane, but also we need flexible membrane of the neurons and synapses and flexible synapses. Otherwise, you are developing amnesia and Alzheimer. So it is again very strange that cholesterol is bad, can be good. Cholesterol by definition is very good, very important substance. So membrane stiffness also lead to compromised migration of immune and stem cells through the gaps in the extracellular matrix and failure of tissue maintenance, which is actually, I believe, one of the core reasons of aging. So because our immune system is supposed to maintain our body in health conditions, so it has to, and the immune cells always migrate through the gaps in the extracellular matrix so that they can kill dysfunctional cells like senescent cells and damaged cells, and also stem cells have to migrate. And if membranes of these immune cells and stem cells are stiff, they cannot go through, and then all this maintenance of the body is in failure. So you see that again, this is capillary and how the red blood cells migrate. So they have to deform, otherwise they cannot go. So only plasma goes through the capillaries, and then no oxygen delivery to the tissues. And this is chronic, and the chronic hypoxia leads to cascade of this process which we call accelerated aging. So, and again, so we have, in some areas, we have many cells which are in contact with each other, like epithelium of our skin, epithelium in our guts, but frame which is keep our body, give shape and keeps our body, it is extracellular matrix. Extracellular matrix have gaps, and through these gaps, immune cells and stem cells are migrating. And if the gaps are very narrow and the extracellular matrix is stiff, and also membranes of cells is stiff, then all the failure. So we are just aging. Our longevity is limited by stiffening of membranes of cells and stiffening of the extracellular matrix. So I was talking many times in my videos. And again, that cholesterol is absolutely important to keep membranes of cells deformable, flexible. So what else? Again, brain contains approximately 20% of the body total cholesterol. Again, you see that's what is so much important cholesterol for our brain. Cholesterol is synthesized in situ because circulating cholesterol cannot cross a blood-brain barrier. Okay, so you see what is problem. So even if we have some cholesterol in low-density lipoproteins, but they cannot go inside the brain, cholesterol is synthesized inside the brain. But again, it is a lot of cholesterol in the brain. Why? Because we need flexibility of the membranes, cell membranes of the neurons, and because synapses and all this memory depends on flexibility of the membranes. So what else? Lipid rafts are particularly enriched in cholesterol, sphingolipids and saturated fatty acids. Okay, again, the membrane is not just membrane; it has some islands or lipid rafts, and lipid rafts contain 3 to 5% more cholesterol than surrounding membrane, and they are absolutely important for signal transfer and also for communication. And so they. But what is interesting, cholesterol cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. Yeah, it has to be synthesized inside. But phytosterols, they strange enough, but about the same size molecules, but they have ability to cross blood-brain barrier. They're crossing, they go to our brain and accumulate in the brain. Phytosterols can replace cholesterol in the cell membranes or everywhere, not only in brain, but in brain it is absolutely disaster. So they are disrupting the structure and function of these lipid rafts. which are crucial for cell signaling, molecular transport, and endocytosis. Okay, that's again, that's what to say. So, and people and the medical professionals recommend to use vegetable oils which are rich in phytosterols. Even if phytosterols are not getting much into the, only a few percent of phytosterols from vegetable oils can get to the bloodstream. In difference from cholesterol, cholesterol is from food is getting more than 80% can get into the lymph and then eventually to the blood. But yet again, phytosterols are, again, if you consume this the vegetable oils, they have so much phytosterols. Phytosterols are substances in membranes of the plant cells. So cholesterol is important to support membranes of cells in animals, and phytosterols in plants. Okay, and plants are trying. Phytosterol, it is a very important part of the plants, how plants protect themselves from eating, from killing. Nobody want to die, won't be killed. So, but animals can run out of you, and so it's avoid killing. But plants cannot. Plants cannot. So they develop these chemicals, weapons to stop animals from eating these substances, those eating plants. And phytosterol is a bioweapon. Okay, lipid rafts. Rafts are key factor for signaling process for cellular responses. You can go learn about the importance of this lipid rafts, because this subject is not very much explained by medical professionals there, but it's very, very important. So it's stability of membranes, but also stability and flexibility of lipid rafts is absolutely important for functioning of cells. Dysfunction in lipid rafts can be implicated in diseases like Alzheimer and Parkinson. Again, if phytosterol is getting to your brain, then it is your lipid rafts are dysfunctional, so its signaling process are disrupted, and also that blood cells, red blood cells are getting not flexible. They cannot deliver oxygen through capillaries in the brain, so you have chronic hypoxia in the brain, and dysfunction of this lipid rafts and signaling. So why people think that they develop Alzheimer? Because of consumption of this plant food, which is rich in phytosterols and also the polyunsaturated fatty acids, which another stuff which is absolutely disaster for our body. Okay, the lipid rafts, they are rich with sense cells, and they are sites to communicate between the cells and to for transport of some substances inside and outside the cells. So it is again very, very important. The dietary sources of phytosterol, okay, in particular in China, are vegetable oils such as soybean oil, rice bran oil, corn oil, rapeseed oils. Okay, you see that that's more than almost half of the phytosterols are getting from oils, but also cereals, the consumption of cereals, vegetables, nuts, and fruits, not much, but because just Chinese people don't eat too much fruits. Beans and bean products, yeah, also they have phytosterols. Any plants have phytosterols because the phytosterols are part of the membrane of the plant cells. Most crop seeds and vegetable oils, including canola, soybean, corn, and sunflower oils, are major sources of omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids. And then it is again, these acids are very easy to be oxidized. They are toxic. When they are oxidized, they disrupt membranes of the cells and including brain cells. So diets enriched in this omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids are associated with inflammation, constriction of blood vessels, and platelet aggregation. So it is vegetable oils, you see the main source of these phytosterols and also main source of polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they are consumption of vegetable oils are this is the reason why we're aging so quick. Okay, then also overconsumption of omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids from plant sources versus deficiency in omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, which is can be associated with pathogenesis of many modern diet-related chronic diseases. Most of diseases what people develop in our times is related to diet. These metabolic diseases. But again, omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, they are considered as healthy, and they are available mainly in fish and animal products, like butter has omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids. Also fish, open water fish, also rich. But again, you have to be careful not consume too much, because all polyunsaturated fatty acids are can be easily oxidized, and oxidized polyunsaturated fatty acids, would it be omega-3 or omega-6, they disrupt the flexibility of cell membranes. They can lead to apoptosis, to the death of the cells. Okay, so you can go to this list of information. Make your own research. Again, don't trust me, and I don't trust medical professionals, and I recommend you not to trust me also, but make your own research. But as for me, it is again, it is not well known that somehow cholesterol considered bad, but cholesterol is absolutely healthy. We need as much cholesterol as possible. But what is not healthy? Phytosterols from vegetable oils, from plant-based food, because again, plants have phytosterols as a part of their membranes, cell membranes, and you cannot, if you consume any plant-based food, you consume phytosterols, and so it is. This makes this accelerate agent, so this limits our longevity. Okay, so again, please make your own research, and then if you want to support my channel, subscribe to my channel, press like and the button, and also share this information with your friends. Have a good day. Ciao ciao.